Good morning, Binal.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Sapna, Pooja, Shilpi, Meenu.
Should we put it on the group?
Yeah, I have
About
already put that we are live. Yeah, we can start if you would like to introduce.
Yeah. So welcome everyone to this 2-day online workshop, and we welcome from Team Site Solution. Now on the technical front, we'll be having 4 Zoom sessions from the 9 a.m. to 12 noon. This is the morning one. In the afternoon, again 4 Zoom sessions from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So in all 6 hours of online sessions in a day. And these are 40-minute Zoom sessions. So between 2 Zoom sessions, there'll be a 5-minute break, which you can use to be in silence, reflect, and also use it as a bio break. And you can log in again with the same credentials, which you did. So at the end of every 40 minutes, after a 5-minute break, you can log in again with the same credentials. And we'll be observing 2 minutes of silence at the start of every session. So that's another, and then we would be, starting the session. The recordings of these Zoom meetings will be uploaded on YouTube. So the playlist link will be shared with you. This would be at the end of, say, a morning session. You'll get the link in the afternoon. And same for the evening. At the end of the evening slot, the link would be made available so that you can revisit for again going through the ones which you have attended in the live workshop. Also the slides and the PowerPoint which would be covered, even the presentation would be shared with you. So yeah, and the other thing is, if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to ask questions. Don't consider it as a silly question or something that it would block the flow. So we would really welcome you all to have an interactive session where we can dynamically have proposals and counter proposals, reflections. So we can kickstart the day. Over to you, Kalyan.
Thank you, Binal, for the introduction. And yes, regarding the question, as Binal mentioned, that questions are important, very important in this workshop. And as the name suggests, let us inquire. So without questioning, inquiring cannot be possible. So please do not restrict yourself to ask question at any point in time. Don't consider that it will block the flow. It will enhance and actually enrich the workshop. We look forward to any kind of questions. Hi, Anita. Good morning. Welcome to the session.
Good morning.
Yeah. So
Sorry for late.
yeah, it's not too late. Yeah, we are just starting. Yeah, could you share about yourself a bit? The new participants, those who have joined. Yeah, Anita, maybe you can start with it.
Yeah. I missed the part wherein what am I supposed to share? I don't know. But myself, Anita, and one of my friend had attended this workshop, and he suggested that I should attend it, so I nominated for it.
Great, great. Where are you from, Anita?
I'm from Pune.
Pune. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, Sapna Chatija, if you could please introduce yourself. Yeah.
Namaste. I'm from Mumbai.
Okay.
And I've been following natural health hygiene for a very long time. So we have a kind of a community. Sorry. So I've kept on hearing about you and I've been reading up I really wanted to do this because I also want to understand the psychological part of it, or the spiritual aspect, or the body, mind, spirit part of natural hygiene.
Great.
That's why I'm here. And also, I have a few questions. So,
Yes, 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 yes. And it will emerge further, I'm sure, because that's the very spirit of this workshop. A lot of questions come. Hi, Pooja.
Hi, Kalyan sir. Good morning.
Good morning. So, yeah, could you please introduce for the participants? We know each other, but yeah, so that
Yeah, I am
yeah.
Pooja, living in Mumbai. Earlier also I attended the Kalyan sir workshop. It is very insightful workshop which give us lots of knowledge about the psychology, and I always looking forward to attend the Kalyan sir workshop. And I am gaining so much after attending the Kalyan sir workshop. That's it.
Yeah, so there's too much of stress on Kalyan sir word, but it's actually our workshop, and it's dynamically happening actually. So there's no kind of some individual is behind this. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Hi, Minu, Shilpi. Minu, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I'm Meenu. In Bhubaneswar as of now. Yeah.
Great. So yeah, Shilpi, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, I'm Shilpi and I'm in Mumbai. Yeah.
Great. So let us start our conversation. As the technical aspect, Beenal introduced that there will be around about 40-minute session and then 5 minutes break. So this way we'll have 4 sessions in the morning, and in the afternoon also we'll be having 4 sessions. Now the topics, if you just look at the screen, these are the rough topics that we'll cover. The bolden topics are part 1. We'll try to cover it today, but there is no hard and fast rule that we follow that we have to complete it today itself, or we may complete it before today, end of the day, or we may exceed also, depending upon our conversation, because a lot of things will be coming up in the conversation which are not mentioned on the topic. So yeah, so we'll start with a little bit of terminology because it's not that the terminologies cannot be changed, because these are dynamically changing. But even then, for conversation purpose, maybe there should be some kind of syncing that we'll try to bring in these terminologies. So including the death is one thing that we need to explore and begin with. So death and a few terminologies we'll explore. And then we'll try to connect the understanding of energy. That's one thing that will go ahead. So these 2 topics are a bit introductory in nature. Then we will progressively drift to our primary understanding of the importance of inquiry and the psychological conditioning. So for that, we will be actually exploring the understanding of existence, because existential knowledge is something which leads us to the truth. Alignment of the truth depends upon our existential understanding. So we'll explore the domains of existence as such. And then corresponding to those domains, what are the executions that we experience in our life? that also will be experiencing. So third and fourth topic, as you see, the domains of existence and domains of execution. So domains of existence, and that will lead us to some understanding of the executions. Now, after understanding these domains, we will try to understand the sequence in which these domains are connected naturally. So, so the natural sequence. So sequence, if you see the synonym of sequence, that's also an order, right? So order is not some kind of regulation imposed, but it's a natural, spontaneous sequencing through which the domains are connected. We'll try to explore that through our observation. Not a very rocket science thing, but we'll just explore these through observation. And if we see the natural order or the natural sequence, then what is the conflicting order? Conflicting order means just the reverse order. So let's not bring any negative connotation on the word conflict, but it's called conflict because it is not in the natural sequence. We can choose to call it unnatural sequence or unnatural order. And commonly these are considered as disorders. So that also will explore that these disorders, the nature of these disorders, the characteristics of the conflicts, and the impact of conflict on our health and overall existence. Overall existence as in, there we'll actually bring the understanding of natural hygiene and nature cure, and theory of toxemia also will be touched during that period. Hi, Akanksha. Could you please introduce yourself? You just joined. Akanksha Surana. Am I audible, Akanksha? I'm not sure. Yeah, meanwhile, anyone has any question on these, we can take up. Any concern or any sharing? By the way, list of topics that you see in unbold font, those are the part 2, where we'll go deep into the understanding of the conflict and the nature of dissolution of conflict, like whether these conflicts are structured to get dissolved on its own, or we have to put an effort to dissolve. That also we'll explore. So, and therein the importance of inquiry will come as a topic. Though regarding inquiry, we will be discussing throughout the workshop, but there we'll try and understand the very characteristic of inquiry, and how the inquiry get suppressed, and whether there is a possibility of awakening of inquiry when even if it's got suppressed. That also we'll try to explore. Then we'll connect the dots of natural hygiene with the concepts of inquiry and understanding of inquiry, rather, because there is no much concept about inquiry, but the understanding which prevails. So we'll try and see that if the reversal of the health disorders is possible through this understanding pathway, the inquiring pathway or not. So in that, the importance of sensation and observation of sensation, we will explore. And also we'll try to explore the factors, those who are aware of the natural hygiene and nature cure protocols. So we'll mention about few protocols and its applicability in the in the understanding of inquiry. So that way we'll explore the things. Yeah. Great. So let us start the topics as enlisted, but will not definitely be limited to the topics, but we'll go beyond the topics. So death. Now, death, as we see, the death of an organism is a very superficial understanding of death, but moment to moment, the importance of death is very pertinent to stay aligned with truth. Now, what does it mean? Now, suppose we are looking at a moment or the experience of the moment under the lenses of our past experiences. So whenever we are influenced to look at a moment with an influence of the past experience, we actually are very much biased to look at that moment with that past experience. We are not open to see the moment freshly and explore the unique experience of that particular moment. So this is somewhat relatable with the death. So now the death is basically the death of the past experience in our psychological domain, which lead us to see the truth of this moment. This is a very technical thing. This is very physics of it. Like if suppose we are looking at anything, but we are getting disturbed by somebody else or some other thing, then we'll definitely not be able to see the things as we would have been seeing if that particular disturbance would have not been there. So this aspect, if we just explore, then we'll understand that it is actually distribution of energy that gets affected, that gets impacted when we are biased with any past experience while looking at the present moment. This is a very physics aspect that we are trying to understand, that the distribution of energy. So yeah, so the importance of ending. Now let's look at the aspect of death in this table, perhaps. As you see, there are two columns depicting facts of death and ideas of death. Now, any reservation in understanding this, or any disagreement, we actually request you to raise your hand, or you can like without raising also you can start talking. There's no much protocol here. We'll follow in accepting question or discussing about those concerns. Yeah. Hi,
Okay, Amarita.
Yoti. Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yoti, if you mute yourself, just a second. Yes. Yes, Anita, please.
Yeah. I didn't exactly get what is the meaning of extended or suppressed fact of death. Is it the life expectancy? I mean, a human being living for a longer duration, extended, does it mean that kind of a death we are talking about?
Yes, so let's go ahead with the point by point. So first of all, it is undeniable. Death is some kind of phenomena which is undeniable. Our opinions of denying a death actually is just an idea that doesn't impact the facts at all. So we are in a habit of denying death conventionally, but undeniable. We're coming to that point progressively, Anita.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So, and this is very needful, as we were just discussing, that in the progression of life, the death is as important as birth. But conventionally, death is pictured in such a way because of our attachment to the life that we start hating death. So this is nothing but an idea that influences our perception, and we'll explore the impact of ideas when it starts influencing our sensation. So hatred is one of the example actually of the sensation which are influenced by the ideas, by the imaginations. Now, optimal lifespan is something to understand. The word optimal is, we are reluctant to use the word best because best is a comparative word and has got some imposed positive connotation. But the optimal is something which is so-called best possible under that respective situation, background, scenario. So optimal lifespan is something which is very pertinent. So which actually lead us to this understanding that even if the death is happening at the age of 5 or at the age of 50 or at the age of 150, it is actually happening optimally, structure-wise. The background of that particular life actually led that lifespan to be optimally available at any particular moment. If the death is structured to happen at 5 years of age, but if it is not happening somehow, then it's actually an unnatural modification if it is coming out of an effort, and which is these days possible. Suppression of death also we see. And yeah, so actually, as far as the idea is concerned, when we have already painted death negatively, then no lifespan is enough. No lifespan is enough. Sorry.
Kalyan sir,
Yes.
sir, I have a question. How we are suppressing the death? How we can suppress the death? If it is structured at 5, then it should be happened at 5 only, na? Then how can we suppress it?
Yes. So have you heard about the life support?
Yes, sir.
So life support is such a kind of arrangement because of our intention. We actually succeeded in that way, suppressing the death, which is definitely not natural, but it is it looks like the life is extended. There are many cases that death is already happened, but due to the machinery arrangement, the death is not declared. Have you heard those aspects?
Yes, sir, I have heard, but sir, death has happened now. It is not declared is different thing, but death has already happened.
Yes. So there are actually cases, like for example, uh, suppose there is a poisonous snake bite, and the the intensity of the poison is such that the vitality is not able to overcome it. Because any type of toxin, when it goes inside the body starts a process of eliminating that toxin as soon as possible, structurally. This is the physics of it. This is very structured. This is the design of the life, that the toxins are thrown regular basis. Just because of the lack of energy, the life fails to throw the toxin as it is required. So there are cases that if that is the fact, that this particular intensity of poison cannot be overcome by the structure, and the death must happen. In those cases also, there are cases registered that due to the application of antivenom, yeah, Vinal, you want to say something?
Sorry, by mistake.
Okay. So the application of antivenom stretched the life. The death didn't happen. But the kind of life after that application of antivenom one has experienced, is a painful life throughout. It's a very you can say that miserable life one leads. So these kind of phenomena human being could achieve through the intentional exploration and neural capability of suppressing the death. Could you follow, Pooja?
Yes, sir, I follow. But sir, as I know that in human life, we can't leave the person to death if we can do something for saving the life. We can't leave it as it. Now he is going to die, so we should not try to save that person.
Yeah, so there the question comes that whatever we are trying to do, whether it is just for the sake of doing, or there is a depth of understanding in that doing or not. That's what we are going to explore, like because of the intentional capability that we have, we may structure, or we may initiate some kind of effort or action, but whether those actions can be claimed as a valid actions or not, that's a question that we are going to explore together today. So let's see how it comes out. So yeah, so we were in that third point, that no lifespan is enough. This is an ideated aspect, that whenever, so as we already painted death as a negative thing, we end up considering that whenever the death is coming, death is not needed. It is unwanted, undesired kind of thing. But there is no value of our desire as far as any natural phenomena that are happening. Our desire is just a burden. We cannot control the truth with our desire. That's one thing to explore in life. So these right side column actually are depicting our desires in every point, countering the facts of the death. So life expectancy is another proposal from the medical fraternity, that over time the life expectancy has been increased, and so those are things actually we are confused a lot with the understanding of life expectancy. So let us understand it with some numbers. So structurally, the human life, human species may have a lifespan of 150 years or 100 years, which got reduced to 50 or 60 because of the unnatural inductions in the life. Under unnatural aspect that we have opted in life, and rather the choices, the influences of choices got overpowered. So that 100 got reduced to 60. Now in this state, there are definitely manifestation of disorders, diseases that we'll explore progressively. But this is an experience that this 60 years of a lifespan is full of diseases. Now, there are suppressions of diseases that human beings have coined through medical introduction. And it's not only about allopathy, but any pathy it could be, that we ended up suppressing diseases. And those suppressions of disease led us to increase that 60 years of lifespan to 70. And this 10 years of expansion is due to the suppression of the natural progression of disease and natural death as well. That is what is we are trying to understand, the suppression of death. So suppression of disease and suppression of death are quite equivalent, which led us to increase the life expectancy in this number. So it got reduced from 100 to 60. Now, due to the suppressive initiative, we experience that it has been increased from 60 to 70. Now, this particular increase from 60 to 70 is being celebrated as increase in the life expectancy due to the medical intervention. So in the ideas of death, as you see, the life expectations are varied, and mostly again the same thing are repeated here, that we know lifespan is enough ultimately. That's what is the expectation from life, that we must stay eternally, we must secure our life eternally. All these ideated aspects which actually denies the fact. Now, the denial of the truth is the primary challenge that human beings are facing today. And that is why we see so many of cruelty and so many of unnatural things that are happening around. So we'll explore those progressively. Yeah, now you see the fifth point as mature, premature, extended, or suppressed. So the death, mature death is something which is unperturbed. You know, there is no effort being put through the intention, and the optimal under that particular surroundings, circumstances is happening. So that's what we can consider as mature death. Premature death is definitely when we talked about 100 to 60. This is structurally it is premature because of the unnatural adoptions in life. And unnatural adoptions means that there are influences of choices repeatedly. We'll explore that. So ideas of death, as we corresponding to this point, mature, premature, or extended, is that trying to control the death. So whenever the death is happening, if we are trying to control it, trying to negotiate it with our efforts, those are actually idea driven. And then catabolic progression is actually maybe a scientific terminology. We are subject to metabolism. Metabolism, scientifically termed as a process in which there are breaking of cells and the building of cells. Both happen simultaneously. Breaking down is considered as catabolism, and building up is considered as anabolism. So catabolic progression is can be compared with the death. It's actually death of the cell simultaneously is happening alongside with the birth of the cells. So we actually end up denying the catabolism, and we actually start holding the life, denying the death, which is not practical. So finally, suicidal and non-suicidal aspect, but let's rejoin with the same link in 5 minutes time and continue our session. Thank you.